Hi everybody, and thanks for taking the time to watch this presentation. This is just going to be a quick overview on how to upgrade your GDS series MPUN cards with new firmware. What you're going to need a laptop or a PC that's going to be connected to your GDS via the LAN network the system is connected to, or if it isn't connected to a LAN, it's a standalone system, you will need to do a direct connect using the LAN port on the system and the LAN port on your laptop. You will need the FTPD32 software. This will be acting as a server for the GDS to retrieve the new firmware from. You will need the correct version of software for the MPU series card that you have. There are different version softwares for the different types of cards. For example, a GDS 160 has an MPU2, a GDS 320 has an MPUN4, a GDS 640 has an MPUN8, and a GDS 1280 has an MPUN16. So please check that A, you've got the most recent version or most recent release version, and B, that it is the correct version for your system. If you have any doubt, contact your local Auto Telecom office. Good housekeeping rules, sort of imperative. Please ensure before you do any work, or particularly or if you're upgrading, that you do a complete backup of your system before you do an upgrade. As a rule, it's good housekeeping and good habits to, if you arrive on site and you're going to be doing programming changes, generally I'll do a backup before any changes I've done, and then when I've completed I'll do a backup and I will just put them in different folders dated. And another thing, you would think it is pretty obvious, you cannot interrupt a GDS phone system in the middle of an upgrade of its MPUN. You will basically corrupt it badly. Okay, so please ensure that there is no planned power outages. I know that sounds silly, but I've heard of a system not about 2 weeks ago that was getting upgraded, and someone had a planned power outage, and down it went. So final notes just before we go, that's about it. So connecting and setting up of the system, laptop, etc. So what we've got here is, this is a GDS 160 that I've just got sitting in the test lab behind me at the moment. There's the MPUN card there. There is the blue cable going into its LAN port. Okay, so in the setup I've got here, I'm actually connected to a network switch, which in turn is actually connected up through to the main router, and my laptop is connected via a cable link, and it's actually also got Wi-Fi, but in this case we'll just go, it's connected via the cable link, and I've got the TFTP software running all on board. This is a typical way to upgrade the system when it's connected to the network. If it is not connected to the network, or you cannot, or it's a closed network, e.g. your PC will not be allowed to connect to it, I would suggest you do a direct connect from your PC LAN port here directly to the LAN port on the phone system. You don't have to change the phone system's IP. All you have to do is set your PC LAN port to be within the range that the phone system IP is in. Okay. Okay, so the next bit, I'm just going to go in and open up a session and just walk you through how to do the actual physical upgrade. Okay, so in this section we're going to run through how to actually upgrade the MPUN series cards. So this is with a live system, so we'll just run it through, and I'll try and explain just a couple of things that I like doing as I go through. So let's just open up a browser. I use Firefox. It used to be really good. I'm not entirely convinced it is wonderful now. We enter the IP address, which is 192.168.1.1 78 for this system. And there we are, we have got a GDS 160. So let's open up the programming. So select system programming, the password. This system is not passworded, but I strongly suggest you do password your systems at all times. But don't forget the password, please. So we're just going to go OK to bypass that. Right. We can go and check our software, and this is E11 BBS version, and I want to upgrade this one to E11 BBW. But before you upgrade, of course, please make sure that you have got the current release version that is required, and please ensure that it is the right actual version software. For example, this is a 160, so it is a G3 series. 320 is a G4. 640 is a G5. Okay, so just bear that in mind, because if you load up the wrong version, the system will probably take it. But then it's more than likely, well, I can actually probably just about guarantee it will not start up again after that, and we'll have to recover the system, which is a totally different set of skills. So let's just take your time, make sure you get it right. Okay, so first thing we need to do is back up the system, but I want to do a little bit of preparation. So if I'm going to do a software upgrade, I generally do a backup before the upgrade and a backup after the upgrade. Okay, I put them into and save them into different files and folders just so it's easy enough for me to manage. So I'm just going to go back here. Now, a couple little tricks I like doing is, first of all, I minimize the window, drag that over here. The next program I'm going to need is the TFT PD32. So I'm going to open that up. He's going to jump up there. I drag him over here so you can see what's going on. So a couple of things about this program. If you've got multiple IPs on your computer, you need to make sure that you have got the TFT server set at the one that is on the same IP range as your phone system. For example, this laptop through it has I'm using the wireless to upgrade, but my LAN port is actually set to 10.10.10.10, so that would appear on that list if it was there. So just make sure that you've got the correct IP address that your phone system range is on, because my system's on 192.168.78. It's in the same IP range, so we're fine. So now we need to go and find the software. So I'm going to go Browse, and I've gone and put it in a specialist place under my libraries, my documents, and a special delete file, which I generally do temporary stuff in. Open that up, and there's my firmware. That's the wrong one, so let's go to upgrade. There's the BBW firmware there, and I open that up. So there's my directory to make sure I've got it right. I go in there, and there is my BBW, along with a backup I did yesterday. Okay, so I've got the firmware there. So let's just go cancel for that. I'd like to show you one little trick that I quite like doing. It's not a trick, it just shows you sort of what's going on. If you open up the command prompt, now I've got that sitting down here, but because I use it a lot. But if you don't have that, if you simply go to Start, I'm running Windows 7, but Windows 10 is the same, you'll find it under Find, and you just go CMD command. There it is there. Okay, so let's just open that up. I'm going to shrink that down just a wee bit, and I'm going to put them down here. Whoops. So you can see it. Hang on, make it a bit smaller. Yep, that'll do. So you can see what's going on there. Why I like having the command open, what I'm going to do is set up a continuous ping on the MPU card. Okay, and it's going to tell me when the MPU is running and when it's down. And for this example, you'll see it'll be down for about 4 or 5 cycles of pinging. I particularly like using this when I'm using upgrading ITU ends or ISU ends, because they take a wee bit longer to upgrade. And a lot of the times you actually can't see the system. I do a lot of remote work and with PCs on site, so I can't see what the actual card's doing. So this is one way I know if the card is down or up. So to set this up, simply go ping, type in ping, 192.168.1.78, which is my IP address, space, dash, T. T means continuous pinging, okay? And then I just press enter, and away it goes. So now my laptop is just pinging away merrily at the card, so I know what the status is at all times while I am doing this operation. So first things first, as discussed, let's do a backup. So to do that, I go to technical information, I go to admin, TFTP download. Okay, so this has basically got the last version of software that I upgraded remembered into it. So, but I want to do the backup. So I just need to check that this IP address is the same. Okay, so it's a simple matter. If you didn't have it, go 192, and it's my browser's remembering where I was. But if I do it manually, 168.1.105. Okay, 105 matches 105 on my TFTPD32 server. Okay, first step, I'm going to do a backup. So all I have to do now is simply go backup settings. So click that. Now, click it once. Please don't double click it, don't triple click it. It's going to take a little bit of time. This one will come through relatively shortly because it's a relatively small system. A big system, a 640, even a 1280, can take a few minutes to compile its files and then send it through down. So my caution is please be patient. Okay, there's no rush. This is not going to stop the system running. As you can see, the DOS pinging is still circling away there, having a good old time. And it's not going to stop. But eventually we will get a backup file. Doesn't the suspense kill you? So we'll just wait here for a while. Ping, there it is. As you can see, sometimes you're sitting there watching it going, oh, it's not coming, it's not coming. Well, it does. There it is. So let's have a quick look at it while we're here. So we'll just go show directory again. There's your backup files, and it's basically a backup file and some checksum type scenario, and it'll punch it out in the date. Yesterday I didn't have the time set on this system. Today we do, so it's got the date, basically the setup, etc., and whatnot here. Okay, so there's your backup. So that's done. So let's just cancel that out of there. Next thing I now want to do is upload the new firmware. Okay, so if I go show directory again. Here is my software. I'm going to update it to BBW as indicated before. I only, on a GDS MPUN, I only need to use the one file. I don't use this .sum. I use the TGZ file here. Quite simple. I go copy. Okay, and that copies the text. Okay, I can just go okay, and that'll close that. I'll just highlight that, delete it, and right click. Paste. Okay, and there's the file text copied in. Now this version number here is just for the system to take a note of what version you want to call it. So normally what I do is I just go paste again, and then I just get rid of the bits I don't want, e.g. the G3 and all that kind of carry on. So it's now just E11 BBW. Okay, right, that's it, ready to go. So everything's ready to go. Now just bear in mind that when I tell this to go, the system, MPU, is going to load it up and then it's going to restart. So this is disruptive to the customer. Please be aware of this. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a couple of things when we hit the save button. We're going to see the file go up and we're going to see the system restart here on the DOS. So let's go save. Okay, and we wait. There goes the file. It's been transferred up. System's checked it, make sure it's happy, and then you'll see eventually once the system decides to restart, we will see that the DOS pinging will stop. Again, the key thing is patience. There is no race. When it's ready, it'll do it. And there it is. So it's request timed out. That means the MPU is restarting. Okay? So do not interrupt a GDS when it is doing a software upgrade. Please check for any power outages. Don't turn it off. And bang, it's back up again. So again, our pinging starts. So the DOS window, as you can see, is actually quite a handy little tool because it's telling you what the status is, whether it's up or down. So in theory now, we should be able to go home, hit the refresh key if I want just to double prove it, and I'm actually up. The MPU's up. So I go programming, no password, I'm in, technical information, and there it is, BBW running. Now, just bear in mind that depending on the configuration of your system, if you've got ITUNs, ISUNs, they're going to take another couple of minutes to come back online. Also bear in mind that an MPU has to sync up to the IPUN cards. They will run initially, but it takes about 2-3 minutes for all of the IPUN cards to sync up to the MPU. So again, just a little bit of patience. Your customers will get back online, so it just takes a few minutes. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you are sitting in here and you still want to use your command, just to turn this off, you just press your control, you click on your window, make sure you're actually in the DOS command window. Go Control C, and that'll stop the pinging, and away you go. Again, don't forget to do your backup after you have done your upgrade. Okay? Do you need to do it? Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I think it's a good thing because then you've got a before and after type scenario. Okay? Always think of the what ifs. Always think of rolling back if you have to. Okay? I hope that helps.